Good morning and welcome back to Antique and Garden Showcase. I'm Mark, glad to have you here. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to actually go into the Peddler's Mall here located in Richmond. We're going to do a little thrifting today. I had originally recorded the intro to this video over at the Goodwill, thinking that I would go in and possibly have a pretty decent thrifting day or find something in there, and I didn't have any luck at all. So I am re-recording the introduction here at the Peddler's Mall, and hopefully we can find some things in here thrifting today. Now, when I say thrifting, that can be pretty much anything you're looking for your collectibles, for your home, whatever. I have a certain list of things when I go in, and I know my taste may not be your taste, but I have in the past found lots of different things at the Peddler's Malls. I've found a rare amber atomic rocket vase one time at another one, and actually the white planter that's on the front porch, the long one with the white wonder caladium and ivy geraniums, that actually came from a Peddler's Mall in a neighboring town. So I'm always keeping my eyes open for garden things, for antique things that I like, and I'll just take you along for a little bit of the journey, show you a few of the booths that have some things that kind of pique my interest today. So I'm going to try to show you a little bit around here. This is one booth that I'm in right now, but the place is made up of multiple different booths. I mean, you can look down the aisles. There are sections after section that you can go into, and each one kind of has their own idea of things. And this one's got a lot of books. There's pictures and things like that. There's clothing over here. Yeah, I see some vintage stuff in here. So there are just rows and rows and rows, and I mean, this is a great big building. It used to be a supermarket, so you can just spend a lot of time in here looking around and thrifting. And I'll take you around and show you some of the things that I'm interested in as I go booth to booth. But as I am walking through here, I do see one vintage thing that we've actually collected over the years, and that's the striped Fiesta glasses. I don't know what kind of price they've got. $2 on that, and that's really not a bad price as long as it's in good condition. And you want to look and make sure that it's clear, or at least cleanable, and that there's no missing or scratched enamel. And that looks like a really good piece. I think I may actually pick that one up for $2. So first find of the day. If you're a collector of restaurant ware, here's a really neat collection of Pyrex old restaurant mugs with a really pretty kind of fleur-de-lis pattern on them. There's a ton of them here. They want $2.95 a piece for those. Not something that's in my collection, but just kind of an interesting thing that is hot on the market right now. I was just looking around. That little wagon would make a cute little vintage garden item if you're into that sort of thing. It's interesting when you go through these places, you see things that you've seen in your own collection, and also some things that you've actually sold before, and other things you recognize that have been at auction. But that bowl right there was one that I had in my collection that I put into auction about a year ago, so it's kind of funny to see it end up here. Pretty sure it's the same one. Well, if you're looking for vintage garden tools, this booth definitely has some of those in it. Occasionally you can find some really nice old pieces that are better than some of the new things that are out there too. So I always kind of look through these booths to see if there's anything that, you know, I could make use of in the garden as well. My mother likes odd vintage glasses, and I saw this one on the shelf here, and she particularly likes polka dot. And this would have been like a vintage, maybe a peanut butter glass that they had like a metal lid on or whatever, but for $1.50, I mean, this is a nice little glass, has a cute pattern, whatever. I think I'll pick that up for her for part of her collection today. So I'm gonna grab this little $1.50 vintage glass as well. This is an interesting mix-up. They've got this listed as a $2 dish. This is actually not a dish. This is a Jeanette Dewdrop punch bowl stand. This is the bottom of it. This is where the foot of the bowl would go. And these would have been a commodity a few years ago to try to find one of these to go with the Jeanette Dewdrop punch bowl. So here's one sitting here in the Peddler's Mall for $2. I mean, it really would have been a steal to complete a neat set like that. Here's a unique folding plant stand that doesn't go with anything I have, but it's kind of a interesting design. It would be really pretty in someone's garden, that's for sure. One thing I've noticed as I mill around here a little bit today is that some of the booths are pretty much priced at market value, but then there are a lot of them that look like they bought at liquidation, and they have tons of different things, you know, just put in that they've got marked at really reasonable prices, and it's kind of a shopping experience when you go from one place to another, because you never know, you'll see something. I saw one piece that I liked in one booth for $12, went around to another booth, saw the same piece for $4.95. So, you know, it's just it's a search and try to find kind of expedition here. As you can see, when you go into a booth, there's stuff all the way to the floor, all the way to the ceiling. So you have to really look around every corner to see if there's that one thing that you're really looking for your collection. Well, I just found another vintage glass for $1.99. This one with a little ship pattern on it. And it's the same size as the one with the little polka dots on it before. So I always like these little vintage glasses in different patterns. They make kind of an interesting display. Put them in a case or a kitchen cabinet with glass doors. They really shine through and make a really neat little collection. I think I'm going to pick up another piece here that I found. This was on a shelf. It was listed as an old Anchor Hocking jar. On the bottom, that's actually a Hazel Atlas mark. So it's an odd shape. It's got French's on the top of it. Salad dressing recipe. I don't know what would have originally been in this, but I love the shape of that jar. So I think that's going to go home with me, because that's an odd one I've not seen before. So neat find today. Here's an interesting mistake on a modern collectible. The Merry and Bright Anchor Hocking Christmas jars were a limited one-year run that Dollar General did in partnership with Anchor Hocking. Now this is an Anchor glass jar. However, the limited edition one had some really neat embossing of the anchor in the side, and it told that how many years that the glass had been made, and it was all embossed in the glass. So this is, I would want to think, has been faked. They've put the lid on, maybe the original jar got broken, and they put the tag on, but this is not what the original jar looked like. And I'm pretty well versed in that one, because Dollar General is who I do a lot of my merchandising for, and I got quite a few of those that year because I knew they would be a modern day collectible. So that turned out to be an interesting shopping trip. The cashier was even like, "Where did you find that unusual jar at back there?" Which was Hazel Atlas. She was even interested in looking it up on Google Lens. Still haven't found out anything about it, but I am going to try to research that more whenever I get home. Don't think the lid on that particular jar is original. I do love the 3 vintage glasses that I found in there as well. And that plant stand was marked at $45. I didn't get it, but it would be a neat piece in the right place in somebody's garden that has something that's similar to match there. So that's in the Richmond, Kentucky Peddlers Mall. If anybody's interested, come and get it. It's right there. As always, thanks for watching Antique and Garden Showcase. We'll take some little trips like this every once in a while, and hope you enjoyed. Leave me some comments, likes, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'd love to have you here all the time. Click that bell. I release videos on Wednesday and Saturday mornings, usually around 7 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks again. Have a great week. Bye.